What's up? I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with 95 Mil.
95 mil.
Hey, so 95 Mil, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Yes.
Yeah, up in the studio, Omna Labs.
Yes, nice place.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, and I'm really excited because this is your first interview.
Yes. Yeah, this is one of my first professional interviews, correct.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'll try to be go gentle on you. But we're definitely going to get some hot questions rolling. I want to really start with getting to know you as an artist. Okay. So before we kind of get into all the stuff that you have going on right now, because you've got a lot going on, I want to talk about your past and how you got started. So I know that you weren't always into music. You first started out doing more visual type of art, graffiti actually, right?
Yes. I used to paint a lot. It didn't do much, I get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm here, and I replaced a lot of it with making music. I love graffiti. Graffiti is still a huge passion of my life. When I go places, anywhere, it's just like the tension, once you get into the system of that, it's like a natural reaction to see graffiti or anything once you start learning the language, because it's another language.
Yeah,
People don't know what it says or what it means or anything like that, but once you're in, you kind of know, I know what this says, or I know what that says, or I know that's 7 C's, I know that's Roar, I know that's Ruko, I know that's Supa, I know these names, and you start to see them around, you're like, damn, I see them everywhere, and salute to those guys.
Awesome. Well, so do you think that kind of the root of you being an artist is more in the fact that you want to leave your mark on this world, whether it be a visual or an auditory thing for, when you're gone, leaving a piece of you behind?
Yes, whatever it is. I always just try to leave it there to have some type of reflection in the end.
Yeah. So what was that point that you crossed over from, using kind of your hand to your voice? Was it just that you caught a beat that where you're like, dang, like I can really flow to this? Or was it more of like an influence? I know Big O Meezy was a really good mentor for you.
Yes, Big O Meezy. Shout out to Big O Meezy. Big O Meezy mentored me a lot. But I think that when it transferred over to more music was when my daughter was born.
Okay.
I was getting in too much trouble doing graffiti, and in the end, it just wasn't worth it to me. I love graffiti, like I said. It was not worth paying the price.
Yeah.
In the end, I could do music, and it could last so much longer than graffiti, right? Because you write your name on something, and it's gone. Someone's gonna come and take it away. If I go to the studio and write some music, or if I put some music into something, it's gonna last a lot longer.
Yeah. So how has family been a driving force for your success?
Man, they care about me a lot. So they want to see me succeed in whatever it is I'm putting myself into. I chose music, so they're always pushing me. They're the ones like, let's go, I want the next song, or let me hear some new music. They're the ones always drawing the attention to that. They're already almost a couple of steps ahead of me of pushing me. So they help me a lot. They're a big influence to my life, my family.
And now I know that you have an album, Family and Folks. Is there a lot of pull? Because, listening to your songs, you talk about your daughter, you talk about, being a father.
Yes.
On a lot of the songs that are on that project, is that basically a reflection of your real life? Yes,
100%. Every song that is on my album, Family and Folks, it is a reflection of my life. It's something that I wrote from my heart. I didn't just make this song to come in like, oh, this is super dope. I'm really like trying to tell my story, and I just want people to understand and hear me. I want them to hear me out because people can relate.
Yeah.
There's so many similarities in life, and I think that it's important if someone can reach out to somebody.
Yeah, ultimately human beings, all that we want is really just to connect with one another. So I think that to your effect, communication and communicating your life to others really kind of lets others understand what's going on in your head, but through a form that's easy and fun to listen to, right, through music. Is there any song off that album that you would really recommend people listening to first, maybe to kind of get a really good sense of just the person that you are and the vibe that you're putting out there?
I would say Changes.
Okay.
Changes is a good song, and it's featured with a good friend of mine, Hannah Renee.
Okay.
She's super dope. She's a good artist, but she actually sings on it, and it was cool because I wrote these verses. I was just venting at the time when I was writing the song. I finished the song. I went and recorded it, and I'm like, okay, you know, because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with it. But I knew that I wanted to write something to it, you know. I hit her up. She's like, yo, let's make a song, this and that. And I'm like, I think I got the right project for you. She came and she heard the song, and she came back another day, and she just put her hook on it, wrote it herself, and I was like, fits perfect.
Awesome.
You know, so that's probably one of my most favorite songs on the album. It's just got a lot behind it.
Okay.
You know?
And so when you're developing these songs, you know, like you said, you obviously have collaborations with other artists.
Yes.
But when you personally are developing a song, do the lyrics usually come first? Does the beat come first? Like, what's your creative process look like?
I usually get the beats first, right? Stunner Beats always hooks me up. He's always there, always giving me, you know, I got this one for you, or check this one out. What do you think about this? You know, he's always giving me input. So when I'm getting certain sounds, I start to hear these sounds, and I'm like, okay, I think I should talk about this, or I want to talk about this, or this song should be this, you know what I mean? Every song is different, but it's all in the same relation of going in the same route, you know, because it's my life is my family. Yeah. You know, so I put a lot of that into all of my music.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I know that family comes first, and that you work with a lot of artists that treat you like family, and you're affiliated with a lot of other great artists out there, Stick With It Records. So you've formed with what? E40, Neff the Pharaoh.
Bands Talk, Big O Easy. I mean, everybody, you know, salute to Stick With It Records, man.
Shout out, you guys.
Y'all got it going on, man.
And so how is the feeling like when you go on stage? I mean, you, like, for example, the Too Short performance that you had, right?
Oh, man.
How is that, like, what was it like being on stage opening up for, you know, for artists that, you know, looking back were maybe some of like your big influences or your mentors?
The Too Short concert was probably one of my most favorite. Just because it's right here in Sacramento.
Yeah, shout out 916.
Sacramento. And it was at Ace of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
Ace of Spades was the first place I went to see my first concert.
Okay.
So to go there, and I remember I wasn't like really into it so much. I was a little kid. And now to be up there, you know, and to perform, it's something special, you know. You might get little butterflies before. It's never like right before you hit the stage. It's always like 2 hours or an hour before, you know. You're like, oh shit, like I'm sorry. You're like, oh shit, I got a show tonight, you know, or your blood starts pumping. But when you get there, it's just like blank. It's almost you're up there and no one's there almost. Yeah. You know, I mean,
it's almost like those blinding lights, actually, right?
Yeah, I think they do that on purpose so you don't see everybody, you know, because their lights are always right in your face. Sometimes I have to tell the light guy, I'm like, dim it down, or when I coming up, you know, change the lights a little bit because I like to alternate it.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Do
you have any pre-show rituals? I know, like, a lot of artists do some weird stuff before or after a show. Like, do you have anything you can share with fans?
Yeah, what I used to do when I started doing music or these shows, I like to go sober. That was my thing. I wouldn't do anything. I would just go up there. You know, a lot of people like to smoke and drink and all that. And then, you know, my mother was like, you know, maybe you should take a shot of tequila before you go up there, or maybe you should just try to loosen up, because I was always like, okay, I got this, you know. So, but now what I do is I usually take like a double shot of Hennessy.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Mom. Right?
You know, yeah, I take a double shot.
Mom knows best.
Shout out to my mom. Double shot of Hennessy kind of gets me going, right?
Yeah.
I'm not drinking to get drunk.
No.
I take it 2 shots because it kind of loosens me up.
Definitely.
You know, and it kind of gets you kind of in the mode. You start, you know.
It just kind of warms those butterflies in your stomach, for sure.
So that's normally what I like to do. But if there's no Hennessy there, I just have to go do it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you know, Hennessy's always a drink of champions. That's my favorite choice. Yeah. I was going to say, you have to try it with root beer next time if you haven't ever.
Root beer.
Yeah, it's good. People are sleeping on it.
I know. I've never heard that one, so I'm going to have to check that one out.
Good, yeah. Fame by the Flame, mixology lesson right here.
Yes.
So, you know, you talked about your performance on stage. I want to talk about off stage, right? Okay. So when you're in the lab, when you're working, right? I know you have some things in the works right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. What do you got going on? What's brewing?
Oh, man. There's always so much. There's always so much cooking, man. I usually, when I go to the studio, sometimes I like to, it just depends off what my vibe is.
Okay.
You know, so if there's a certain beat that I have, sometimes I write them better in the studio.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this song for the studio. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes I'm like, I really want to put something special into this one. So I'll sit down and I'll take a little bit of time and really write the song. But a lot of things that are cooking up right now is something good.
Awesome.
Family and folks.
Yeah.
That's that's what's cooking right now.
Yeah, and I know that you're hoping to release it on 11/11, right?
11/11.
Yes.
That's the first time I've announced the date. So 11/11, family and folks.
Yeah.
It'll be on every platform.
Yeah. So a first on Fame by the Flame, you guys don't have to wish for it any longer. 11/11, you guys will get to the whole album, right?
11/11, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
And so, and I'm sure that you'll have more visuals coming with that, because I know that you have visual for Natural.
Yes.
And you also have couple other music videos up on YouTube right now. But you'll have more visuals coming, so fans will definitely have to tune in. And how do you come up with the themes for your music videos? I mean, I know Strong Visuals shot one of yours.
Shout out to Strong Visuals.
And I know that you have a couple other videographers who are shooting some other stuff.
Sam Makes Media. Sam Makes Media they're both really talented. I actually went to high school with Strong Visuals.
Okay.
So we kind of like in the same neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And he's really talented.
Yeah.
Like he's got it down. I tell you, if he just does his thing, you let him do his thing, he'll come back, you get to go.
Yeah.
You know, Sam Makes Media is really talented as well too, and he was cool because I know he's from I think he's from Yuba City, somewhere like that. If he is, or I'm not mistaken. But he drove out to San Francisco.
Yeah.
He's from this side, but he drove out to San Francisco to record Natural.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we filmed it, and he went the ways, and he came and he filmed it. So he's down to earth artist right there.
Awesome. So for your music videos that are coming up, can fans expect more kind of city shots of just like you, like real life, or do you think you're going to kind of have some more artsy like aspects to them?
I like the city.
Okay. I'm
a city guy. I grew up right here in Sacramento, so everything that I want to do is I want to reflect Sacramento.
Okay.
You know, I like to find little spots here and there because there's places in Sacramento that people don't know about that have art there, or that have a good image there, or something that could be used. So sometimes, like what I do before the music videos is I just go on a scavenger hunt by myself. Like by myself, I literally will go around and I'm like, I think this is a kind of cool little location, you know. So I kind of pick what I want, depending on where it is that you know I'm feeling at the time.
So what do you like most about Sacramento? I mean, you've been born and raised here, right? You're raising your own family now here.
Yes.
So what is so appealing to Sacramento, like for you? Like what's the most, you know, why is your heart here?
My heart is here because my family roots are here. You know, I have a lot of family in the Bay Area, but like my family, you know, like my mom and my dad, you know, they're from right here in Sacramento. So I've been all around. You know, I know Sacramento more than I know anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I love Sacramento. You know, because I can go anywhere and be like, okay, I know where I'm at. You know, you might go somewhere and be like, I don't know if this is the right place at the right time, you know, but if you come around here, you're just like, I'm home.
Speaking of Sacramento and being born, raised here, kind of representing for your city, I know that another artist that you affiliate with is Mozzie, and he's blowing up right now. Shout out Mozzie.
Mozzie's dope.
Yeah.
I opened up for Mozzie in Tracy.
Okay.
And that was cool.
Out of all places,
Out of all places, yeah. So we traveled up there, and it was a good little route. We had a big old van, so we had a van that fits like maybe like 14 people in it. So we all pile up in there and we drove out to Tracy.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience. It was cool. It was outside. It was like 110 degrees.
Oh, gosh.
But we were there. You know? It was cool. And I got to go on right before Mozzie. And it was good. To see him bring out the people he does and to see him live and his interactions and what he does up there is very good.
Yeah, and you know, he's making moves, and you know, you're alongside that traction of, you know, coming out with your own stuff, headlining for a lot of these major artists. And I'm curious, going back to, you know, what got you started in hip hop, who were your major influences? Oh man.
I was probably like 11 years old when I was younger than that. My parents were my biggest influences in music because they were listening to like Dr. Dre.
I was gonna say your mom's trying to tell you to take tequila shots.
They were listening to E40. They were listening to Too Short, Mac Mall, Keep the Sneak. They were listening to everybody. So I was like already into this music before I even knew what the music was. You know, but really when the rap started to hit was I was probably like 11 years old, and my neighbor would beatbox, and he had this friend. His name is Andrew Godley, and he would freestyle. He would just like start freestyling, and I was like, I remember I was a little kid, and I was like, was like, wow, like, what song is that? That was really good. He's like, that was a freestyle. And I was like, a freestyle? Like, what's a freestyle? And he was like, I could just did it off the top of my head. And I was like, no, you didn't. And he was like, give me any subject. Yeah. He rapped about, like, cheeseburgers and, like, going to the drive-thru at McDonald's. And I was, like, blown away. Yeah. So I was like, man, like, show me how to do this. Like, how can I do that? You know, I'm, like, 11 years old. And he was like, just start writing music. Just start thinking of things that rhyme. And I did. I was, like, writing, like, little rhymes at, like, 11 years old. And walking to school, and I remember just like listening to like Eazy-E and Dr. Dre and you know, like the old school NWA, and just listening to these people and like, man, like this is pretty cool, you know what I mean? So music has always been a big part of my life. But the older I got, we were going to house parties. This is how like it really started touching down. Was we were going to house parties and they were having the same thing. They would do cypher sessions there. So we were having, like, the older guys would beatbox. They were all beatboxing, and then another guy would start rapping. Only people could beatbox and rap. You know, not both of them. Yeah. It was one or the other. So the guys would go in a circle and just rapping back and forth. Yeah, like someone lay the beat. Yeah, like old school style, you know. So that's how I kind of got into the whole rap, because I was, like, a little kid, and these guys were, like, in college. Now I'm, like, 13, like 12, 13, and these guys are in college, and I'm, like, in this circle, you know, like, it was cool, and I just wanted to be better than them, you know. I was like, I want to do this, you know, and shout out to Upper Ends. Shout out to Upper Ends. They influenced me a lot with as far as putting in rap. You know, awesome. Yeah,
that's cool. It's kind of funny how a lot of artists start from parties, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for real, because it's that's how it is. You know, you guys start having a good time. One person knows how to do this, one person knows how to do that. You're like, let's marry it. You know what I mean? So it's been special.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, can I put you in the hot seat? Could you freestyle a little bit?
I don't do freestyle. Now it's pay style.
Pay style.
Now it's pay style. Yeah, everything's for money now.
All right, well, we'll have to catch you on the next one then,
we'll
right?
We'll get it, yes. We'll get it for the next one.
Well, speaking then of now your current influencers, right?
Yes.
So, who would those be? Like, are there any artists that you really pull inspiration from?
Probably E40.
Okay.
E40 is probably my, like the one I'm most inspired by, you know? I've got to meet him quite a few times, so it's really cool, you know. When you're in the presence, you're just like, you just know you're there, you know what I mean, because you're standing next to this guy, you know, and that's probably the one that's got the most influence on me.
Okay.
Right
and
now.
So what about him is an influence for you? Is it just like the way he carries himself? Is it the longevity of how, like, you know, his music has carried on for so long, or the way that he's touched his fans?
It's how real he is.
Okay.
You know, if you listen to his music, he just gives you game.
Yeah.
You listen to him and he's just gaming you up. You know, you start hearing things that you've never heard. I'm just like, wow, like, you know, like, longer than a flamingo. I'm just like, damn, like, what? Okay, like, he just starts pulling things out, and that's the creativity. You know, he's the definition of a real artist, because he can make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you give him something and he's going to make a hit. You know, he's got the formula down to a science, and that's something that I'm definitely influenced by.
Awesome. Well, shout out E40.
Shout out to E40. Shout out to E40.
Now, do you have any advice? Because now, you know, looking back when you were 13 and all these other kids were in college, and now kind of you're of that age, and now you have all these younger kids kind of coming into the game. Do you have any advice for some of those younger artists that are now just pulling up and trying to make their own way in the music scene?
What I would think is just keep pushing.
Okay.
Just keep pushing music. Keep making music. Don't stop making music. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't do it, because obviously they're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta put in the work, because no one's gonna do the work for you. But just don't stop. You know, build yourself your own brand. You know, like, just start pushing yourself. You know, because in the end, that's what's gonna pay it.
Yeah.
You know, if you just listen to everybody, because there's always going to be negative out there. People are always going to be like, I don't like that, or that's not cool, or whatever it is that they're feeling at the time. That's just how you feel, you know? You sit down and write a song, or you sit down and try to do this, and you tell me what you think about it. You know, you got to put the time and the heart and the feelings into it, and just keep it real.
Yeah.
Make all the music real, because that's what's going to make it last. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I mean, you definitely have longevity in your career. You're putting out some new stuff. Speaking of which, 11/11, you guys do not
11/11, family and folks.
Yes. And now, where can fans find that? Like, where can they cop? You know, not only the music video that you're going to have coming out, but as well as the full album.
It will be. I'm going to have it on all music platforms. Okay. So it'll be on Spotify, Pandora, you know, iTunes, anything you can think of that has music. And right now, I'm working on something of getting it into Dimple Records.
Awesome.
So now if I get it into Dimple Records, you know, I'll feel a little more accomplished.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. That's the goal right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, so fans, you definitely have to stay tuned. Keep your eyes and ears open. I know that we're really excited to see the full project release because we've been getting little snacks and we want the whole meal. So. Yes.
It's been very good. It's been very good. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, 95 Mil, for being on Fame by the
Thank
Flame.
you.
I really appreciate you.
Thank
yes,
you. Appreciate you.
And of course, Amina Labs, Jay, you kill it every time. Until next time, fans, I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with 95 Mil.
95 Mil, Fame by the Flame.